Please, can you take me to the hospital? The woman's voice cracked through the cold evening air, barely louder than a whisper. She stood doubled over on the busy sidewalk, one hand gripping a rusted street pole, the other clutching her swollen belly. Her face was pale, twisted with pain. Her clothes hung loose and worn, the kind of tired fabric that tells a story of too many washes and not enough money for new ones. People walked past her like she was invisible. A businessman in a crisp suit sidestepped her without breaking stride. A couple crossed to the other side of the street, their eyes deliberately turned away. A woman with a designer bag actually laughed into her phone as she passed, as if the sight of someone suffering was just another piece of urban scenery. Hello friends, welcome to Black Bite Stories. Like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. Let's begin today's story together. Lena Carter tried again, reaching out toward a man in a jogging suit. Please, I need help. My baby's coming. He pulled his earbuds tighter and ran faster. She felt another contraction rip through her, so sharp it stole her breath. Her knees buckled. She sank to the curb, tears streaming down her face, mixing with the sweat on her forehead. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. She was supposed to take the bus to the clinic. She was supposed to have Mark by her side. She was supposed to feel safe. Instead, she was alone on a street corner, invisible to the world, her body betraying her with every wave of pain. Then she saw him. A man standing a few feet away, watching her. Not with pity, not with judgment, just watching. He wore plain jeans and a dark jacket. Nothing flashy, nothing that marked him as different from anyone else. But something about the way he stood made her think he might actually see her. Please, she whispered, meeting his eyes. Can you take me to the hospital? For a heartbeat, she expected him to turn away like all the others. Instead, he stepped closer. His expression didn't change, calm, steady, unshaken. Are you in labor? He asked quietly. She nodded, unable to speak through the pain tightening around her middle. He crouched beside her, offering his hand. Can you stand? She gripped his hand, surprised by its warmth, its strength. He helped her up slowly, steadying her when another contraction hit and made her cry out. My car's right there, he said, nodding toward a dark sedan parked at the curb. Take your time. She stumbled forward, leaning on him more than she wanted to. He didn't complain. He didn't rush her. He just matched her pace, his hand firm on her elbow, keeping her upright. When they reached the car, he opened the door and helped her inside with a gentleness that made her throat tighten. No one had touched her that carefully in months. He slid into the driver's seat and started the engine. Thank you, she breathed. You don't need to thank me, he said. She studied his profile as he pulled into traffic. His jaw was set, his eyes focused. There was something quiet about him, something restrained, like he carried weight she couldn't see. What's your name? She asked between breaths. Ethan. Thank you, Ethan. I'm Lena. He nodded once, his hand steady on the wheel. You're almost there. Just hold on. The contractions came faster, harder. She gripped the door handle, biting down on her lip to keep from screaming. Ethan didn't speak, but every few seconds he glanced at her, checking, making sure she was still breathing. You don't have to stay once we get there, she said. I know you have somewhere to be. I do, he admitted. But I'm not leaving until you're with a doctor. Something in his tone told her he meant it. When they reached the hospital, Ethan jumped out before she could even unbuckle her seatbelt. He flagged down 2 nurses, explaining the situation with a clarity that cut through the chaos. They rushed her inside, and he walked beside the stretcher, his presence a quiet anchor in the storm. Inside the room, nurses hooked her up to monitors, checking vitals, asking questions she could barely answer. But Ethan stayed. He didn't hover, didn't intrude, just stood in the corner, watching, making sure she wasn't alone. "Do you have someone to call?" he asked gently. She nodded. "My boyfriend, he'll come." Ethan's expression flickered, something unreadable passing through his eyes. Good. But Mark didn't come. Not for an hour. Not while the contractions tore through her. Not while she gripped the bed rail and sobbed through the pain. Ethan stayed. When a particularly brutal contraction hit, she felt someone take her hand. She looked up to see Ethan had stepped closer, his grip firm and steady. "Breathe," he said softly. "Right here with me. Just breathe." She followed his rhythm, slow and controlled, and it helped. It helped more than she expected. By the time Mark finally burst through the door, out of breath and reeking of cigarettes, the baby was almost here. He stopped short when he saw Ethan. "Who the hell is that?" Mark snapped. "He helped me get here," Lena said weakly. "That's all." Mark glared at Ethan, then at her, as if she'd betrayed him by being in pain in front of another man. Ethan didn't react. He just gave Lena a small nod. "You'll be okay," he said quietly. "Thank you," she whispered. He turned and walked out, and she felt the absence immediately, like a door closing in a silent room. Mark took the chair Ethan had stood near. He didn't ask how she was. He didn't touch her. He just muttered under his breath, "Next time, maybe call me instead of some stranger." She didn't answer. She didn't have the strength. Hours later, after the delivery, Lena lay exhausted in the hospital bed, her newborn daughter sleeping in her arms. Mark paced the room, complaining about missing work, checking his phone every few minutes. At one point, she saw him go through her bag. He slipped something into his pocket. It took her a moment to realize it was the cash she'd saved for diapers. Her chest felt hollow. Later that evening, she tried to rest. Her phone vibrated with notifications, hundreds of them. Her sister Rachel had posted something online. Funny how some people pretend they're victims for attention. Pregnancy doesn't make you a saint. The comments piled on, strangers tearing her apart. People she'd never met deciding she wasn't worthy of sympathy. She turned off the phone before she could cry. She clicked on the small TV mounted in the corner, looking for a distraction. A news alert flashed across the screen. Breaking: CEO Ethan Hale missing during company crisis. A photo appeared. Sharp jaw, steady eyes, plain clothes. Lena's breath caught. It was him, the man who helped her, the man who held her hand, the man who disappeared before she could thank him properly. A billionaire, a missing CEO, a man whose name carried weight. And he had stopped for her. She stared at the screen, heart pounding. Why would someone like him stop for me? She didn't know that at that exact moment in a dark parking lot, not far from the hospital, Ethan sat in his car with his hand still on the wheel, unable to drive away, asking himself the same question. The next morning, Mark left early. He said he was getting food, but Lena knew better. She sat alone with her daughter, rocking her gently, whispering promises she wasn't sure she could keep. A knock sounded at the door. She opened it a crack. Ethan stood there, holding a grocery bag filled with baby essentials. Formula, diapers, bottles, a soft blanket. "I didn't want to intrude," he said. "I just thought you might need these." She stared, overwhelmed. "You didn't have to do that." "I know." She opened the door wider. "Come in." He stepped inside carefully, his eyes scanning the small apartment. Not judging, just noticing. The baby made a small sound and something softened in his expression. "How are you feeling today?" he asked. "Tired, but better." "Good." Before she could say more, Mark walked out of the hallway in a towel. He froze when he saw Ethan. "What the hell is this?" Mark snapped. "You just let him in now?" "It's not like that," Lena said quickly. "Then what is it?" Mark demanded. "Why is he here again?" "Are you two-stop?" Lena said sharply. But the accusation hung in the air. Ethan stayed calm, his voice steady. "You can leave now. We don't need charity." "I'm not here to cause trouble," Ethan said. "Too late," Mark shot back. "You think you can show up with a bag of supplies and what? Steal my family?" Lena stepped between them. "Mark, stop, he's just helping." "You weren't here yesterday." "He was." Mark turned on her. "You always have an excuse for strangers." "He helped me," Lena said, her voice shaking, "when no one else did." Mark's expression hardened. "Right. So what did you promise him?" The words hit her like a slap. "Nothing." Mark shrugged, unconvinced. His attention swung back to Ethan. "Whatever you're doing, stop it. Stay away from her." "You don't get to decide who helps her," Ethan said quietly. The room went still. Mark stepped closer. "This is my house." Ethan didn't flinch. "Then maybe treat the person living here like she belongs in it." Lena drew in a sharp breath. No one had ever said that to Mark, not once. Mark didn't react with anger. He reacted with something colder. Silence. Ethan turned to Lena. "If you need anything, call me." "I mean it." She nodded, her throat tight. "I will." He gave her one last look and left. The door clicked shut. Mark stared at it for a long moment before turning on her. "You embarrassed me." "I didn't do anything. You let him think you need him." "I don't," she said quietly. "He was just kind." "That's how it starts," Mark muttered. For the rest of the day he made small, sharp comments. He watched her when she fed the baby, as if trying to catch her doing something wrong. Every time her phone buzzed with another cruel comment from Rachel's posts, Mark's eyes narrowed. By evening, Lena wanted nothing but quiet. But the apartment never gave her that. The next morning, she woke to the sound of Mark whispering on his phone in the kitchen. She walked out to make a bottle and froze. "Yeah, I saw her," he said. "She's still trying to play the victim." "You were right. She's milking it." Her stomach dropped. He was talking to Rachel. Mark laughed. Yeah, I'll send you the photos. She looks miserable. You'll enjoy it." Lena's throat closed. He kept talking. "And if you want more dirt, you'd better send the money first. I'm not doing this for free." She backed away before he noticed, closing the bedroom door quietly. She sat on the bed, shaking. He was selling information about her to her sister. The same sister destroying her online. She pressed her hand over her mouth, forcing herself to breathe. Around noon, there was a knock at the door. Mark opened it. A woman's voice, calm and professional. "Are you Mark Evans?" "Yeah. And this is the residence of Lena Carter?" Lena stepped into the hallway, holding her baby. Two people stood at the door, clipboards in hand. "Good afternoon," the woman said. "We're from Child Protective Services. We received an anonymous report." Lena's breath left her. "A report?" We're here for clarification and a welfare check. Mark didn't look surprised. He just stepped back. Sure, come in. Lena's knees went weak. There's been a mistake. I'm taking good care of her, I swear. This is a routine visit, the woman said. We just need some information. But the tone wasn't reassuring. Not when the man's eyes scanned the clutter, the sink, the apartment that wasn't perfect. The next 30 minutes were a blur of fear. Questions about stability, about support, about accusations she'd never heard. Neglect, emotional instability, hostile environment. When they finally left, Lena sank onto the couch, holding her baby like she was the only thing tethering her to the ground. Mark stood over her. He didn't comfort her. He just looked bored. Well, he said, maybe now you'll take things seriously. Her heart cracked. Did you do that? Do what? Call them. Mark scoffed. Don't blame me because you look unstable to strangers. He grabbed his jacket. I'm going out. Don't wait up. Mark, don't go, please. I need help. He breathed out a long sigh. You're supposed to do most of this stuff anyway. That's not what He waved a hand. If you want me here, start acting like someone worth staying for. Her stomach dropped. He opened the door without looking back. You should be scared. The door slammed. Lena stood there shaking, baby crying in her arms, feeling the sound echo inside her chest. She didn't know he wasn't coming back. The next day, the pounding came again. Harder this time. Management demanding overdue rent. 2 months. 30 days to leave. Her phone exploded with notifications. Rachel had posted a video. Footage of Lena having a panic attack on the kitchen floor, holding her newborn. Someone had filmed it. Mark. Rachel's voice narrated. This is what she's really like. She can't handle one baby. I'm worried for the child. Comments poured in. Someone call CPS before it gets worse. An hour later, CPS returned. 2 new faces, firm and unsmiling. We received multiple new reports today, the woman said. We need to ask follow-up questions. They walked through the apartment. They showed her the edited video. They asked questions she couldn't answer without sounding defensive. When they finally spoke, the words shattered her. Miss Carter, we need to bring your daughter in for temporary protective custody. No, she whispered. No, please. Please don't take her. This is temporary. It's lies, Lena cried, stepping back, clutching her baby. My sister hates me. My boyfriend's working with her. They're setting me up. The workers didn't react. They'd heard it all before. Please, Lena begged, shaking. She needs me. If you don't comply, law enforcement will be called. Lena kissed her daughter's forehead, tears falling. I'm so sorry, she whispered, arms trembling as they stepped closer. Her arms loosened, piece by piece, as the woman lifted the baby away. The cries grew louder, desperate, reaching for her mother. Lena's hands stayed frozen in the air. Her knees gave out. She hit the floor. No, please, she choked. The door closed. Silence crashed down. She folded forward, sobbing until she couldn't breathe. Time blurred. Then her phone buzzed. A news alert. A shaky hallway video CPS removing a child from an unstable woman. The footage showed her begging, collapsing. The whole city was watching. Across town, a boardroom TV flickered on. Ethan saw Lena fall to the floor, reaching for her baby. Color drained from his face. Cancel the meeting, he said. I'm leaving. You'll lose the company. Then I lose it. I won't sacrifice her again. He drove fast. Every red light felt like an insult. He reached her door and knocked hard. No answer. Then the lock clicked. Lena stood there barefoot, shaking, arms empty. "They took her," she whispered. Ethan pulled her into his chest. "I'm here. I saw everything. I don't know how to fix this. You don't have to," he said. "You have me." He knelt in front of her. "Someone did this on purpose, and I'm going to expose every one of them." For the first time since her daughter was taken, Lena felt something break through the fear. Hope. His phone buzzed. He showed her the screen. A message from his investigator. "Found everything. You were right. Both involved for months." Below were attachments. Emails, screenshots, bank transfers, private messages between Mark and Rachel. Lena covered her mouth. Each detail felt like another thread snapping. "This proves they planned it. They set you up. They wanted CPS involved." Her eyes blurred. "Why? Why would they do this to me?" "Nothing," Ethan said. "But some people break others to feel whole." She stared at her hands. "This is my fault. I trusted the wrong people." "No," he said firmly. "This isn't on you. You didn't deserve any of this." She wanted to believe him. His phone buzzed again. Ethan answered, voice low. "Yes." "Is it confirmed?" A pause. Then his tone hardened. "Good. Have the police pick him up now." He ended the call and turned to her. "Mark is being arrested tonight. Fraud, extortion, falsified reports." Lena stared at him, breath caught. "He's going to jail." "Yes." Relief came in fragments. "What about Rachel?" "She's next." Ethan handed her his phone. Lena's hands shook as she read. Rachel's handwriting. A forged signature. The document that had cut her off from her adoptive parents. "She framed me," Lena whispered. "She made it look like I stole from them. And we're proving it," Ethan said quietly. A knock sounded. His attorney stepped in. "All evidence submitted. Court order approved. CPS must return the child immediately." Lena froze. "My daughter?" "Tonight." Her knees nearly gave out. Ethan steadied her as tears finally fell. "I thought I lost her." "You didn't," he said. "You'll hold her again." When CPS arrived, Lena barely heard the apologies. She only saw her baby. She lifted her into her arms, sobbing with relief. "Mommy's here," she whispered. Watching them, Ethan felt something loosen in his chest. Lena hadn't been saved. She had survived and reclaimed her life.